And the front runner for the Green Party nomination this year is Howie Hawkins, who on this show supported the Russiagate narrative to a certain degree.
So, the media is, they're following this Russiagate thing, which I think is serious. I think Trump ought to be impeached. I think it's obvious he saw collusion. He did collude, him and his son and his son-in-law. And, it's all over that first volume of the Mueller report. It's all over there. I mean, when people say, oh, it showed no collusion. No, it didn't. It says, Mueller says right away, I didn't talk about collusion. I talked about narrow legal definition of conspiracy. Plus, I can't indict a president, according to this OLC letter in the Justice Department. He just laid out the evidence for prosecutors, which has to be Congress.
So Howie Hawkins pushing Russiagate as a Green Party person, the guy is intellectually impaired. I don't know what his emotional development is, but when he does something like that, that's a guy not to be trusted. You can't trust Howie Hawkins as far as you can throw him. That's why that guy, is he a mole inside the Green Party? Probably. The Green Party needs to get rid of guys like Howie Hawkins who push Russiagate. And if they embrace him, then, that's the end of the Green Party for sure. Jill Stein was on my show and she talked about, she also castigated, it's a nice term, nice way to say that, castigated Howie Hawkins for doing that. And Howie Hawkins revealed himself to be, deficient and not up to the task of leading anybody anywhere to do anything. What he did was cowardly and stupid and destructive, and he's toxic. And if he's the Green Party nominee, to good luck.
Can you just explain what the history is between you two? Because I know that you did endorse him for governor. I know he interviewed you at one point, but then I guess
he was doing Randy Credico, who has a show on WBII in New York, was doing a fundraiser for Howie Hawkins in New York, and I Skyped in. To help support the Green Party candidate who was running against Andrew Cuomo. So I didn't know much about Howie Hawkins. I knew he was a Green Party candidate, and I knew I certainly wasn't going to endorse Andrew Cuomo. And I'm all for third parties. I'm all for, we need to have a third party polling above 5%. So we now have leverage over the Democratic Party. What do you mean leverage? So leverage is when Hillary wins the nomination, she doesn't then appoint or pick a progressive as her vice president. She puts a conservative, somebody to the right of her. So if there was the third party that were progressives, she would have to then kind of form a coalition. Otherwise, you're not going to win an election. If the lefty party is polling at 5, 6, 7%, you're not going to win a general election because you'll lose, right? So at that point, you can't stick your thumb in the eye of the third party anymore. You have to actually reach out to them. Instead of what the Democrats do now is call them Russians and smear them and try to demolish them. So they never have to move to the left. And so that's why I'm all for a third party that's polls at 5%, so they get matching funds from the government, and they can be really viable. They can get in debates, and they can move the Democratic Party back to being the Democratic Party. So that's why I reflexively endorsed a guy like Howie Hawkins and was willing to do a fundraiser for him. And then I found out he's a Russiagator, and he pushed lies about Syria. He pushed CIA talking points about Syria. He pushes CIA talking points about Russiagate. He pushes CIA so that's a guy who's reckless, and he's dangerous. He's toxic. He's not fit to lead anybody. And the Green Party had any sense, they get rid of that guy because he's the death of the Green Party for sure.